I can't stop thinking about Scott Derrickson's The Black Phone 2, a horror sequel that, to me, elevated and continued on the legacy of the first movie. I've really enjoyed these two films, but I'm having a hard time articulating what I love so much about them, especially the sequel. It's a hodgepodge of nods and homages to other iconic horror like Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, a little bit of Gravity Falls sprinkled in there. However, it dials up the terror. The story is bigger. The grabber is back. The movie leans harder into the supernatural side, which makes for some genuinely chilling moments, and it's a lot more violent for sure. But it's not all gimmicks. It's an emotionally mature sequel with much more of that sibling bonding stuff that I love so much from the first movie. The Blake siblings' chemistry reminded me of my family. So seeing Mason Thames and Madeline McGraw back, a little older, a little harder on the edges, made this movie familiar enough to want to see them overcome the next obstacle in their lives. It honors elements of the first movie while attempting to expand the world. I fucking love how they reused Mark Corvin's opening theme from the first movie. Such a tense and stylized horror theme that hits those choppy and haunting notes so damn well. It expands the world by making Gwen more of the focus. We see more of her powers and the familial history of the Blakes and the supernatural. What I liked especially is its 1980s aesthetic, something that was already strong in the first movie and remains one of its greatest strengths here. Love the camera work and the different lenses during Gwen's dream sequences. Another highlight is that it's not afraid to be more intense and visceral, capturing the feeling of old school horror while still adding a modern touch. For genre fans especially, the retro aesthetic plus supernatural slasher combo hits a really good sweet spot. And then the grabber. Just when you thought Ethan Hawke couldn't bring more gravitas or horror to such a new horror icon, he was so much scarier here, and it added so much more terror to the whole sequel. So much, in fact, that I was genuinely concerned that they were going to kill Gwen at the halfway point of this movie. But with all of that in mind, I think what I love about Black Phone 2 and the franchise at large is that it allows me to spend more time in Scott Derrickson, Robert Cargill, and Joe Hill's supernatural story with characters that I genuinely care about. We get to go on this adventure with the Blake siblings. We get to see that tight-knit family bond grow as they go for round 2 with a Freddy-fied grabber at a Christian youth camp. It's more story. It's more time spent in this universe. And the best part, spoiler, is that all of the characters ultimately live. Finney, Gwen, Robin version 2, even the new character, Camp Counselor Armando. I know it's a horror movie and we're supposed to have deaths. That's the whole point. But I personally appreciate it when a horror film can be rare and they don't end up killing any of the likable cast. It feels good to see the triumph over evil. And I love Gwen and Finn. Gwen and Finn are the lifeblood of the story. The sibling affection, their trauma bond. It is powerful, and seeing them double team the grabber to send him to hell once and for all was absolutely chef's kiss. I had a great time. Here's hoping that we get a third time in this world.